welcome viewers to Forces First, and I am Rakshita Mishra with you. And in today's episode, we bring you a variety of stories from Trump-Munir bonhomie in Washington to Trump expressing his love for Pakistan, to China gifting the J-35 fighter jets to Pakistan, with Pakistan making its way in the elite league of the countries with the 5th gen aircraft. Also, we'll tell you about India's hypersonic leap as well, India's promising project Vishnu. 2 countries and 1 common goal, viewers, as Operation Rising Lion is underway. We also tell you how India has also upped its game as far as the indigenous weapons are concerned. Not just that, viewers, we'll tell you the deadly and the banned weapon that Iran has used on Israel to increase the civilian fatalities or civilian harm in several areas of Israel. We'll get you all that. And not to forget, Rajnath Singh, the defense minister in Udaipur on International Yoga Day, and the strong warning that he has issued to Pakistan. All right, viewers. So, viewers, one spews venom, the other seeks validation. One sponsors the terrorists, the other looks for a Nobel Peace Prize. One of the biggest headlines this week was the United States President Donald Trump hosting Pakistani Army Chief Munir at the White House. Just days before the deadly Pahalgam terror attack, this Munir had been delivering hate sermons against India, hate sermons against the Hindus, and just 57 days after the brutal terror attack in Pahalgam, he was hosted, hugged and hailed in Washington. Not for reform, but for not pushing nuclear button. And Trump did not shy away from expressing his love for Pakistan. Take a look.
I was honored to meet him today. I had him here. I wanted to thank him for not going into the war, just, ending the war. We're working a trade deal with Pakistan. Well, they know Iran very well, better than most. And I love Pakistan.
All right, viewers, now the lunch meeting was the first time a U.S. president had hosted the powerful head of Pakistan's army, who is in fact was not really the head of state. And this is, of course, for decades we've seen there has been a script as far as U.S. and Pakistan is concerned. One after the other, American presidents have rolled out the red carpet for the Pakistani generals. In 1980, this was General Zia-ul Haq shaking hands with Ronald Reagan at the height of the Cold War. In 2000, General Pervez Musharraf met Bill Clinton as the Kargil scars were still burning. Then in 2006, George W. Bush met Musharraf despite rising terror footprints. 2019 saw General Qamar Javed Bajwa receiving a warm welcome from President Trump in just months after Pulwama attack, viewers. Now in 2025, Trump hosts Munir, 57 days after the Pahalgam terror attack. All right, viewers, so it seems like each time Pakistan walks away with perks from United States, billions of U.S. military aid, military assets, even as Pakistan's soil hosts terror networks. The latest Trump-Munir bonhomie isn't just diplomacy, but also a sign for India to be on alert. While Trump again reiterates his tune of stopping the war between India and Pakistan, he thanked Munir for so-called not pressing the nuke button and saying he loves Pakistan, he loves Munir. And of course, this is also to be seen in the context of what's happening in West Asia as well. And of course, exploring the options of possible involvement of Pakistan, how it can help U.S. Tehran and Islamabad, the close ties, not a secret, but Trump is also trying to pit Pakistan, use Pakistan against Iran as well. Now, viewers, we have a defense expert joining us on the broadcast. Major Samar Toor is joining us on the broadcast on Forces First. Major Toor, well, this is, much talked about lunch, and there are no free lunches, we all know, in this world, especially when it comes to United States hosting a Pakistani general, a Pakistani army chief. Now, all this happening just almost 2 months after the Pahalgam terror attack. The same Trump who has, been voted to power for his fight against radical Islamic terrorism as well. This happening as he tries to sort of, at least for in front of the media, hyphenate India and Pakistan, tries to invite Prime Minister Modi. Prime Minister Modi rejects the invitation while Munir was in Washington, D.C. How India can see this development that has happened in the past 24 to 48 hours?
Well, Rakshita, it is a clear message from India that it is not taken this in a good way. It has shown its disappointment, you could say, due to the prevailing schedule and circumstances of Prime Minister Modi's visit, that he prioritized other nations and prior commitments instead of a sudden and surprise invite by President Trump. Secondly, President Trump, choosing such a timing of where Israel and Iran are at war, and in the middle of such a conflict, you are already calling in a rogue nation's field marshal at such a juncture gives, all the wrong signals. And also, there have been speculation that Field Marshal Asif Munir had presented General Bagheri a wristwatch on the 27th of May 2025, and it is claimed that when General Asif Munir gifted this watch to General Bagheri, that led to his assassination. And moreover, Iran is closely looking at Pakistan's double standards in terms of first wanting to assist Iran and then going against it by sealing its borders with Iran. And you see, all the other Gulf nations are looking at Pakistan as to how it is going to play in the hands of USA. Now, it is believed that Israel does not have any connect with this, with what Pakistan is doing for helping USA. It is merely and purely to maintain and safeguard the interest of Pakistan with USA, to maintain decent relations. Because you see, after Osama bin Laden's assassination on the Pakistani soil, the relation between both the countries have been at an all-time low. There has been a lot of lack of trust. So keeping all that in mind, this is happening. But if you see from a civilian point of view, it's the death of Pakistan's democracy that, the state head is not being invited. The Prime Minister and President of Pakistan have not been invited or given much importance as compared to Field Marshal Asif Munir.
Yes.
So it is, calling out the bluff of Pakistan. And I'm sure that President Trump would always negotiate with a person who has power and who matters most. And it is evidently clear who is ruling Pakistan at the moment. Rakshita.
Yes, Major Samar, you summarized it very well. Thank you so much for joining us with your view on that. Viewers, of course, India keeps a close eye on those developments that are happening in Pakistan and what's happening between US and Pakistan. Viewers, now we shift our focus to the other big story that we've been tracking. Viewers, it's a major shift that is unfolding, and it definitely demands India's attention. Earlier, there were reports that China is likely to give Pakistan J-35 fighter jets. Well, the story has progressed, and Pakistan is also set to receive 40 advanced J-35 stealth jets. This also makes Pakistan enter the elite league of countries operating the 5th generation stealth fighter jets. But what does this really mean? Viewers, we have to note here that these jets are no ordinary jets. These are stealth jets, and they are equipped with the cutting-edge stealth technology. We are listing it out for you. What does it really mean? They are designed to be nearly invisible to the radar. Henceforth, they have this name of being stealth jet. Imagine the advantage that brings in any aerial conflict. Now, we talk about specifically J-35 fighter jet. Let's take a look at the capabilities. Now, China's J-35 has a twin-engine supersonic jet. It's more reliable than the single-engine jet. So this is a double-engine jet. Active electronically scanned array radar as well. So it has this very important radar as well as far as the J-35 is concerned. It also has the electro-optical targeting system. And the other capability that we talk about is that it has a radar cross-section of just 0.001 square meters. And this is one of the advantages if you can talk about the J-35. It also enables the first detection and first strike benefit. It detects and it also could launch the strike. Also, it shares the targets with other weapon systems. So this is China's J-35. J-35, the only thing you can say about right now is that it has not been tested. It is not combat tested. It has not seen combat. So that, of course, is something that is a disadvantage. But viewers, what is important is that the Pakistanis will be receiving these deliveries of these jets by the end of the year. And the variant is the FC-31 variant of the J-35. This is the other variant of the J-35 that Pakistan is going to receive very soon. And it's a land-based version designed for the ground operations. And talking about this gift, it's distinct from the naval version that is meant for aircraft carriers. It is for the ground operations, equipped with infrared search and track system. This is the China's gift to Pakistan and can link other weapon systems to share the targets. So as we told you earlier about how it can share targets and how helpful it is when it comes to the combat. Now viewers, why should India worry about it? Why does this matter to India? Should India be worried about this China's gift to Pakistan? The answer is yes, because it should be. Right now, India does not have a stealth fighter. It does not have a fifth generation stealth fighter in its inventory. While the Indian Air Force enjoys the air superiority with its highly capable Rafale and the Sukhoi 30 AMCA jets, the introduction of the stealth fighters to Pakistan's fleet could dramatically narrow that advantage as well. So there is a delay detection means and the tactical disadvantage also. So there are a lot of disadvantages. India's AMCA program, remember, has been approved. It has just been approved by the Defense Minister last month, but it will take almost a decade. It will be operational by 2035. So it's a long, long wait. India, especially given what has happened recently, it cannot afford to wait so long, viewers. And for more on that, I have our very special guest joining us on the broadcast. We have Air Vice Marshal P.K. Srivastava joining us on the broadcast. Air Vice Marshal P.K. Srivastava, thank you once again for joining us on Forces First. And this is, of course, a cause of worry. This is this stealth race in South Asia that we are witnessing. And yes, we've seen it's always, dubious when China offers something to Pakistan. But the fact that this is happening post-Operation Sindoor, Pakistan is also trying to get help from United States. We've seen the meeting between Munir and Donald Trump. There will be a deal that would have taken place with Pakistan eyeing more support. China, on the other hand, is also trying to try to again trap Pakistan, if we can say. But where does this leave India, you feel, sir? Because we already have dearth of the squadron as far as the IAF is concerned.
Rakshita, I think what questions you have raised, they are very valid and very good questions. Thank you for that. And thank you for being on your show. But let me not use the word worry. We have to factor in this induction into our security architecture. And coming back to what Trump has done with Munir by having a lunch with him, because Trump's love is mostly transactional and more so in this case. And Pakistan is willing to act, if I don't want to say as a slave state, but as a rented state which can be rented out. Therefore, the Pakistani civilian establishment, the leader of the civilian government was not called, and the power center was called over there because they wanted army to be on their side, and they also know who rules Pakistan. Now, coming back to the fact that Pakistan geostrategy location gives some advantage to Pakistan because they needed somebody on the Iran side, Iran's eastern borders, to push Iran to accept what US wants to do. That is part of the transactional love which he has shown towards Munir. But it's in conflict with China is primarily 80%, Pakistan is primarily with 80% Chinese weapons. And now this is being offered more or less like free thing. And nothing comes free from China. They always levy a lot of debt burden on you. CPEC is one thing. The minerals are another thing which are in play. But let's talk about this aircraft. This aircraft, if you go the claim-wise, would prove to be a parallel a little better than what F-35 is. But I have my own doubts on claims and compliances. I have my doubts, serious doubts. So let's talk about why I have these doubts. If they have two engines, they call it better and more survivable. No, these days single engine aircraft are as good and as survivable as twin engine aircraft. Because when you're shot at, then there is no question of surviving, whether it's single engine or double engine. And safety wise, it does not add up because new engines are very safe and they can do. I'm talking about the engines which F-35 has. These engines have not proved. They are something like RD-33, the first one which I showcased, and now they are having WS-31 engine coming up, which is Chinese engine. It has never been proved even on the test bed as much as the engine which is there in F-35. So when you talk about this engine, I'm not sure what kind of performance it will give, but whatever they showcased in the Aero show, it was not as good if you really went by the profile they were trying to demonstrate. That is point number one. And if you're a twin engine aircraft, it gives you more IR signature. So we are talking about stealth. So stealth wise, everything is not there. It may not be as stealthy as it is claimed to be. That's what we saw in J-20. We have also seen in J-10C, and you have seen in JF-17 Block 3. And what missiles are loaded on this? They're also talking about PL-17. We have seen PL-15's performance in Op Sindoor. It didn't do really well. It was not able to lock on and go wherever. It was not electronic warfare survival kind of beyond visual range missile. So PL-17, which they want to give, is yet to prove itself. They also are giving along with HQ-19. HQ-9 didn't perform in Op Sindoor. HQ-19 is supposed to be far greater range and far greater, if you go into the pamphlet, a very wonderful kind of, claims. But coming to what India needs to do, India is a really kind of some situation, because if we have two competing aircraft for stealth fifth generation,
Right,
which
sir.
in the meantime AMCA is far away, we want to do it. We need some time in between to fill our gaps. So if you go by F-35, which is on offer, or you take Su-57, which is on offer, you have a situation at hand. Because taking Su-57, I'm not sure how fast it can be delivered, and it is still not combat tested. F-35 could be a better deal because it will also strengthen our relationship with US, and Su-57 may have still a kind of sanctions thing hanging on our head.
Right.
So geopolitically, so you need to see your deal with geopolitically, a kind of threat it imposes on you, this kind of new induction. If we take everything into account, we need to push our AMCA program as fast as we can in mission
Right,
mode.
sir.
Number one. Number two, we need to handle the geopolitics of the game by choosing
Absolutely.
our...
Vice Marshal P.K. Srivastava, of course, the game is still on, and India, of course, is still trying to boost its own indigenous weaponry, its arsenal. Here, of course, India has to hurry up. That, of course, is the broader message. Thank you so much, Vice Marshal P.K. Srivastava, joining us on Republic TV. Now, viewers, talking about India's own arsenal, India is sprinting into the hypersonic age. Amid escalating conflicts from Europe to West Asia, India is ramping up its defense playbook, not just to keep pace, but to pull ahead, building on the legacy of the BrahMos, of the Agni-5 and the Akash missile. DRDO is now scripting the big leap, the next big leap. Project Vishnu, and under Project Vishnu, India is preparing to test a missile that could change the strategic game board altogether. The extended trajectory, long duration, hypersonic cruise missile. It's touted to outrun the BrahMos missile. Remember the role of BrahMos during Operation Sindoor. Now this missile, it is poised to enhance India's strategic advantage, particularly in countering Pakistan and potentially balancing China's influence. It does not aim to be fast, but also aims to be unstoppable. Powered by scramjet technology on the air-breathing concept, the missile uses atmospheric oxygen for combustion instead of a rotating compressor, enabling much higher speeds than the conventional system. Now, this next-gen hypersonic missile is ahead of the current BrahMos cruise missile in both speed and also range. The range of BrahMos initially was 290 kilometers, which was later increased to 450 kilometers. Now, in comparison, the range of this missile we're talking about is 1,500 kilometers per hour, which makes it even more powerful, 3 times more powerful than BrahMos in terms of reach. And this missile can operate even in extreme temperature, that is at 2,000 degrees Celsius as well. So well suited for the modern day warfare. And here is why it matters, viewers. This missile is not just about boosting numbers in the arsenal, but it's about tilting the regional balance. Giving India an edge in countering Pakistan is sending a strong message across the Himalayas to the Beijing city. With this, India also joins a very capable, exclusive global club nations capable of developing and deploying hypersonic cruise missiles. And viewers, now amid escalating conflict from Russia to West Asia, 2 nations are quietly rewriting their playbook as far as defense preparedness is concerned. India and Israel, both facing hostile neighbors. In fact, Israel, of course, is not neighboring to Iran, but they are facing hostility in the region, and both are living under the shadow of threats and now racing towards same goal, that is Atmanirbharta, self-reliance in defense. India's Make in India is not just a slogan, viewers. It's a full-blown push to reduce dependency on foreign arms. Now, the DRDO is at the forefront, rolling out homegrown systems like Arjun, the main battle tank, the Pinaka rocket launcher, and the Akash service to missile system. We're comparing the indigenous weapons here. Now, compare that to Israel, viewers, a country whose very survival has depended on military innovation. Years of embargoes, surprise attacks, and regional volatility forced Israel to become self-reliant fast and effectively. Now, today, Israel's defense industry is a world-class, led by giants like Rafael, Israel Aerospace Industries, and the portfolio includes global game changers like the Iron Dome, the Spike missiles, the Harop loitering munition drone as well, the kamikaze drone that are being deployed in the precision strikes. And Israel, of course, viewers, is also using these in the ongoing conflict between Iran and Israel, viewers. Iran, remember, now we have to talk about Iran also, what it is doing. Israel, of course, is trying to stop its nuclear program. Israel says, and many Western powers say, that Iran cannot be allowed to have nuclear weapons. But also what right now Iran is doing, it's using a banned bomb. These are cluster bombs. These are smaller bombs or submunition in a missile, a weapon that has been banned by over 120 countries, viewers. These are the visuals. This is banned in more than 100 countries. It is dangerous in nature. In Iran's June 19 attack, the Israeli military reported the missile's warhead detonated at around 7 kilometers above the ground, releasing approximately 20 submunitions across an 8-kilometer radius in central Israel. Viewers, cluster bombs are munitions that are not guided or self-propelled. They cause widespread civilian casualties. And this is what has happened. They just fall to the ground. They are intended to explode on impact. In fact, viewers, these cluster bombs are controversial since it poses grave dangers to civilians, because many of these munitions fail to explode upon landing, but they can remain active for longer duration, viewers. While several countries joined the treaty, Iran, Israel and US have refused to sign the treaty as well to restrict the use. And this is a violation of the international humanitarian law as well. If you see in Israel, viewers, the visual that we have got is that there have been these munitions have been all scattered throughout civilian areas in Israel. Now, viewers, on this International Yoga Day, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh stood shoulder to shoulder with our fearless Jawans, celebrating not just yoga, but the indomitable spirit of Operation Sindoor. Under the global theme of One Earth, One Health, he led a stirring tribute to our soldiers whose surgical strikes obliterated the terror camps across the border, delivering a thunderous message to Pakistan. Now, viewers, the message was loud and clear that India's resolve is forged in steel. Addressing the troops, the Raksha Mantri declared Operation Sindoor is far from over. It's merely paused, ready to reignite if terror dares to rear its head again. Rajnath's words echoed India's zero-tolerance stance on terrorism, vowing that any misadventure from across the LOC will meet a crushing response. As the world watched India stretch in harmony, our jawans showcased their resilience, proving they are ready for any challenge. Listen in to Rajnath Singh.
आज पूरा विश्व इंटरनेशनल योगा डे मना रहा है और हमारे ऋषियों और मुनियों योग की एक ऐतिहासिक परंपरा और विरासत को आज पूरी दुनिया फॉलो कर रही है। साथियों, हमारे यहाँ योग केवल एक अभ्यास नहीं बल्कि एक वे ऑफ लाइफ है, जीवन जीने का यह तरीका है और यह कोई नई बात नहीं है। ये हजारों वर्ष, लाखों वर्ष, हजारों वर्ष पुरानी यह भारत की परंपरा है। आप सोचिए, एक समय था जब योग को सिर्फ भारत के ऋषियों और योगियों तक ही यह सीमित माना जाता था, लेकिन आज न्यूयॉर्क का टाइम्स स्क्वायर हो या पेरिस का एफिल टावर हो, हर जगह लोग योग मैट बिछाकर सूर्य नमस्कार कर रहे हैं और योगा कर रहे हैं।
And viewers, that's all we could pack in this edition of Forces First. Republic TV continues to keep a close eye on India's fight against terror and India's, of course, defense boost, India's defense arsenal and everything that is happening across the globe. With that, it's a wrap on this edition. Thanks for watching and Jai Hind.